I'm sure you have some expectations before you attended this event. Were they met?
So yes, my expectations were met, and I think one of it is around sort of conversation within the government and stakeholders within the ecosystem. Initially, that there is a bit of huge divide, across conversations that happen with governments. I think the introduction of government now into what happens within the tech ecosystem is going to make innovation thrive for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So for next time, there were actually came here to know the effort of the government in helping the tech industry on how we can grow, because generally the whole world right now is going on tech in all industry.
So I think I'm really looking out for like the union of when there is a they said something about they would be looking forward at having like a body for like just the tech ecosystem people to also be able to like be represented in the government. I think that would really make a lot of sense, because at least we get to have a say. I mean, it was very hilarious when he was like, if you know anybody in the CBN, like nobody did. So having that type of thing, like the tech ecosystem being represented in the government, that makes a lot of sense.
My expectations were met because the world is going global, so I learned a lot.
Okay, I just wanted to know all about what the government have for the technology, because the world is all about technology. Without technology, everything can actually go well. Like for example, I'm a language consultant, French, German, and with technology I've been able to go worldwide. So technology is very important, so let's know how they're regulating it for everyone, even the poor masses there, everyone, in fact. The world, you can't talk about the world without technology. The world is just technology.
Technology is the new world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I really love the platform. It's very lovely. Yeah, it's very, very educative. Very, very. Yeah.
So now that you've attended this event, were your expectations met?
Well, yes, to some extent. I mean, it's a progress in making, being that the government and the tech community, or should I say the ecosystem itself, I believe there's going to be an agreement really soon. Not just that, for the fact, one thing I took out of this summit is that the tech ecosystem in general has to come up with a union, a body for them to be taken seriously by the government. And that is one of the realizations that they've just gotten here today. And I'm sure if they can actually work on that, the tech system generally in Nigeria will be taken very seriously. Then they'll be able to, come together, bring in their ideas. The regulatory bodies will come in, do the needful, and the government will take everyone seriously.
In terms of implementation, I would expect that, the government gets be more inclined, get to partake more in the tech space and get to know what is really happening here. Instead of, because the regulators they're not the ones that bring these ideas. So we are the ones who go to the market and develop all of these ideas. So they get to come on board, and I think implementation needs to be an issue.
Okay, so I would definitely say that my expectations were kind of made, but more importantly, it is that we're having these conversations, which is the first step, right? I don't expect to see results immediately, but of course I want us to talk about things about how there should be more collaboration when it comes to these regulations, whether it's in terms of the government, whether it's in terms of investors, what are business owners doing as well, what are we doing to basically kill that imbalance between protecting our citizens and also helping them to grow their businesses. Definitely, and then we've been ensured today that there's a lot of work going into ease of doing business and very important aspects of tech, to be honest, which is what I'm all about. Yes.
Of course, beyond my expectation, I learned quite a lot, and I actually have something coming up in fintech space, so it's a good privilege to it's a good privilege for us to understand the regulations and how to go about it. I had my jottings and I work on that.
Hello, standing beside me, I have one of the volunteers for GAT Summit. So I want to hear about her experience, how it feels to volunteer to the GAT Summit. So how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, so what's your experience? What would you say your experience seems like volunteering for this summit?
Good. More than I expected. Yeah, I learned quite a lot from this summit about tech. Tech is not a very hard thing to do. It's a skill, and once you're creative, of course, you can go into tech. And I also learned that government should come into tech. The government should. There are so many things that are limiting young ones, and so I took quite a lot. And I worked in the media stand. It was another experience on its own. So yeah, and I met amazing people, and oh good.
Oh, if you're feeling fine, hey, feeling. I can see you are excited already. I'm about to ask you that. Were your expectations from the event met? But with this dancing and everything, what were your expectations for the event met?
Actually, it was, as I said earlier, it was very insightful, and I got to hear a lot of views from different people from different sectors, and I got to also know that there are lots of gaps in the tech system in connection to the government, and a lot of things they need to improve on. So I'm just hoping that after all this conference that we had, this summit, they'll be able to implement what they've heard, because it's not only about saying the issues, noting the issues, it's about what is going to be done next, what needs to be done. So we should not drag this, because now you see a lot of people going out of the country with their ideas when it comes to tech. Because I know somebody personally that is starting up for years now, 4 years, and nobody's supporting in Nigeria. So he's looking for how to take it to China. And people are actually reinvesting from there. Why? Because there's a lot of things, a lot of hindrances, giving you a lot of criteria to meet that is not even attainable for someone that wants to start up something. I want to start up something, I'm coming to you for help. So when you are telling me to bring some certain standards, it's quite hard.
Okay, so I would definitely say the highlight has been also listening to the Lagos State government, talking about some of the projects that they're working on. We had one of the panelists talk about how people don't have knowledge about some of these platforms. Exactly, and then the representative was kind enough to even list them out, list those opportunities. People actually need more platforms to be able to grow, and that's very important for me. I think that was really good, and yeah, it was definitely a highlight. I'll be checking out some places as well.
The professor talked about having our students learn about critical thinking from very, very young, from the early stage. And then with that, internalizing in them the idea that when you create, you should always also expect regulation. So if you begin to see that idea from that early stage, when you begin to create, you don't feel as though regulations are trying to stifle your creativity or punitive measures as Boseni has said earlier. So I feel, yes, I agree with him totally.
Yeah, my major highlight is the fact that the government are also looking at opportunities for them to collaborate with entrepreneurs in the fintech space and stuff. So that is a plus and an encouragement for we startups to really harness the opportunity to grow and leverage on that to enter the market basically.
So are you looking forward to implementations from the government?
Of course, definitely. It's not just by talking about it, but seeing it in action. So I'm looking forward to them collaborating with us for us to just grow as a startup. The challenge is always you trying to scale, and so when you understand the point from the regulator, you can always find your way to balance your books from that side. Then you leverage on that and scale. You wouldn't have to go back to that part while you are at your process of launching, maybe your first quarter of your own launching, and then you have to go back to regulating. But when you start with them and you know you're good with them and they are involved in your growth, you can just ride on that.
The part that trying to do CAC and all this startup business is quite hard. And again, I can see that everyone, the government and people that came around, they are trying to put things in place. It's actually very nice.
I would say first of all would be that there's an actual need for the regulators to be out there. Like there was a question asked today, like if you know someone you can reach out to in CBN, for instance, one of the apex regulatory body in Nigeria, raise your hand up. and everybody's hands were down. So regulators need to come out there, because currently now regulators are being seen as maybe they are witch hunting founders or startup in Nigeria, but then from what I got today, they're actually doing it from a perspective of balancing the good and the bad. You know, so finding that thin line between the good and the bad is very key. So they need to come out there and you know, make it known why exactly they are regulating these sectors, the tech space in Nigeria, and a whole lot, because it's actually for our own good.
Actually, you're right.
So my major highlight is that the fact that the government now has like some sort of listening ears, you know, they're kind of paying attention. So rather than saying that we are aggressive, so they're interested in what we are doing, and I think that's interesting. A few of us might be, you know, what I said, but I think the interesting thing is that they are providing some sort of listening ears and are kind of creating, and I think some kind of sustainable policies that will actually make us thrive with innovations.
Okay, before I go, I will give you my microphone now. You hold it. So, what are you actually looking towards for after this event? What are you looking towards?
Well, I'm looking at regulations of tech industry not to be the same. The government is actually and really interested in the tech spaces and what is going on, especially for the entrepreneurs there, and that things don't just happen, that there's a regulation, and that the regulation is in favor of the innovators of the industry, so that there can be development, more development. People can be interested in it, and people will not be scared that, oh, what if I start this and government? Yes. So that's what I look up to, and I also look up to it that it doesn't end here, and it's not just about talk.
So now, what do you have to say to the organizer of this event before you go?
Well, it's a very, very good one, and I really, really want to see things like this come up again. You know, it's like now the tech community in general is going to be heard, and everybody would just, you know, that, I mean, technology is the next big thing. It's the real big thing, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's a new oil. Remember what the guy said. So we're going to be taking it seriously. Yeah, that's what I can take out of it.
Thank you, TechNext. Thank you, Ripples, for this amazing event. Nice environment. I mean, this is my first time of coming to Oriental Hotel, so just put that. But I mean, really nice. Nice speakers, nice keynote sessions. Yeah, thanks for inviting me as well.
You guys are perfect. Thank you for this kind of program. We look forward to having more of this. Thank you very much.
I'm very grateful to everyone that took out time, because there's a lot of time they took out to come and just teach people, to educate people. We're very grateful and we appreciate you a lot. And yeah, personally, I'm sending love to you wherever you are. Thank you very much. God bless you.
I would like to say it's good that we have something like this coming up. Like, I'm attending this like for the first of its kind, and I think this should come up more regularly, because there's a whole lot of things that came out.
Okay, to the organizers, thank you so much for putting this together. I hope that we'll have even more events like this. We're looking forward to it, and that, you know, Tech PR is supporting it as well if you're interested in that. But definitely, yes.
So to the organizers of this event, you're doing so much. I really appreciate you. I want to see more of this. We want to see, you know, a V2 of this event, because I think this is the only way we can actually make innovation strive. Young people are doing really amazing things with technology, and if we must create that sort of billion-dollar solutions for the next billion users, we must begin to get interested in what young people are doing. Thank you so much.
It's a good one, organizing this, where industry sectors, players can come in together and talk about those things that affects everybody. So that's it. Nice one. Big stuff, guys.
I'll say thank you to the organizer of this wonderful event. It was actually an amazing time here, and I actually learned a lot about the tech and also the interest of the government in the tech industry. And I will say thank you for putting this up, for bringing a collaboration between the youth in the tech industry and also the government, knowing that the government actually have interest in tech, and also they want our country to go forward through the tech industry. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
TechNext. This is a beautiful summit. Thank you. Well done, and I hope that we'll do this again and soon. Thumbs up.
This was really superb, like fantastic. In French language, you say c'est très formidable. It was really, really interesting for everyone because everyone was heard. The regulators, they regulated, everybody was heard, and solutions were being given, suggestions were being thrown out. It was a very honest platform, which so far so good. I really, really heard, I really, really enjoyed the program. Thank you so much to all the organizers. Au revoir.